Hello there, welcome to today's edition of Family Life. My name is Elizabeth and your name Tamakloe, and this is the platform where we discuss real life issues facing family, society, and the world at large. Today, we are discussing a very sensitive topic that hits very hard and close to everyone. We are discussing marrying as a result of premarital pregnancy. Is that right or wrong? We'll go on a quick turn. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest for the show. Please do stay.
Here at Medifem, there is a lot that we do that we make our patients very, very, very comfortable. Right from the entrance, when you enter here, there's not alone that you need. Even if you have your sickness, everything vanishes. I would like to also introduce that we have antenatal class as part of our nursing education. We do about 4 modules. Inside the 4 modules, we have various topics under them. This class also is done every week. There's a link that is shared where we discuss issues about maternal health. We also talk about neonatal jaundice, where pregnancy-induced hypertension. It's a whole that we want everyone to come and experience. So kindly make it a point to come and experience Medifem, and you never forget. Remember that once you are not here, we are also not existing.
When the time must come to make that choice, PPAG will be.
Do you feel maltreated by an intimate partner or a family relation? Are you experiencing emotional, financial, or any form of abuse at home, in your relationship, or at your workplace? Do you feel like you have reached your limits? No, you don't deserve this kind of treatment. Every woman, every child, every man has the right to live free from fear, free from violence, free to be human. You have the right to decide on what happens to your body, and that includes the right to choose a family planning method. Sexual and gender-based violence is a violation of human rights, and together we can end it. SGBV include rape, forced marriage, domestic abuse, female genital mutilation, and all forms of sexual exploitation. It is happening in our homes, our schools, our markets, sometimes our workplace, and even in silence. Sexual abuse is not a family issue. It is a crime. Speak up. Human rights are not just for some. They are for everyone, young or old, male or female, rich and poor. You have the right to say no. You have the right to be safe. Do not be afraid to report the perpetrators by stigmatizing the victims. If we stay in silence, the abuse will continue. But if we speak up, we will save lives. Who knows? You may be saving your loved one who would have become the next victim. Boys and men, you have a role. Stand against SGBV. Choose respect. No one deserves shame. If you know someone facing any of SGBV, please call Yenkasa on 0800 20 20 10 or WhatsApp 0245 118 228 for the best support you will need. Remember, the call is absolutely free. Let us help you report it to the appropriate institutions like those two. Together, we can build a world where everyone is free. Free to dream, free from fear. Say no to violence. Say yes to dignity. It is your right. Yenkasa, help you can trust. This message is brought to you by Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana with the support from UNFPA Ghana. Together, we protect sexual and reproductive health rights.
Stand by me. Stand by me.
Thank you so much for joining us and choosing to stay with us. Today's guest, our evangelist Patrick Nilo Motego. He fellowships at St. Timothy Anglican Church. He is a marriage counselor, a married man. He's a textile designer as well, and a poultry and snail farming. He has a maiden book that is Purity Flag. He will be speaking to us shortly about this book. And then Lady Justina Owu Ejiri, she is a Ghanaian consultant, counseling psychologist who integrates mental health into medical care at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC Hospital, and Health Essentials at Medics Clinic. They are my guests for today, and they will be speaking to us about this very sensitive issue and everything that we need to know about it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Welcome.
Evangelist, how are you doing?
Great. So,
I saw that you have a maiden book, Purity Flag. What's this about?
yeah, there was a burden that the Lord laid on my heart concerning the lifestyle of the youth, especially when it comes to relationships. And it's even linking it to the very topic that we're about to discuss. That the moment you use the word premarital, meaning that you are moving ahead of time,
Right.
against the right norm that you are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so raising the book Purity Flag means people are being called to order, to walk with God in righteousness and holiness, and follow the pattern that God has laid for us, so we could enjoy our relationship rather than enduring. Many people are enduring, they are not enjoying. So that is the
That's very deep.
Yeah, and that is the inspiration behind the book.
Okay, so I want you to touch on this very book that you have written, linking that to the topic for today. You said that we'll be speaking to some of the things here. Okay, now we've had families who have pushed their wards to get married because there is a pregnancy alongside the relationship, and society even puts a lot of pressure on the people. Once you have been able to do your research and even written a book about it, it means that there's a lot of wisdom you'd want to share with us. So let me take your bite on this.
All right, so probably what I wanted to explain much about the very, very topic that we are going to discuss. Like I said initially, when you made mention of the word premarital sex, that means that is not the original state. You move ahead of something that is supposed to be going through the normal process. And so I keep saying that sometimes in marriage, people should understand one thing. I married a woman, I married a man because I love them. And so the joy and happiness does not depend on the society. It depends on the two of us. The decisions we take, the vision we have, the plan we have. If we open up too much to what society will be saying, you will miss the mark. You are married and you are enduring instead of enjoying the thing. So come back to the right order. Have a solid relationship with your God. Consult people who have been married for years and ages with experience, who will be a guide. In the process of marriage, there will be challenges, but you will need the right people to be on board, who will be able to shape the marriage in the right perspective, so you could be able to enjoy. But when we do this kind of try and error thing, which brings about this premarital pregnancy, it's a try and error thing. They are not married. They are testing their emotions and their feelings. They were not applying wisdom and knowledge attached to the main thing, and then in the process of time the thing occurred. I am not against them because I am not God. They can go to God and pray for forgiveness and God will forgive them. But the consequences will still be there for you to handle. And that is one thing that people need to understand. And so I believe the right order has come, especially with this particular topic, that we'll be able to go through step by step, explain it, of which we are not attacking anybody. We are here to speak the mind of God, and even out of research what people might have done, that could be of help to them. That is the reason why you made mention of the word sensitive topic. And I know people are watching who are going through similar things. They should rather open up and relax and take the medications over here, which I believe will take away the burdens on their heart.
Well, let me just try to appeal to your counselor. So your counseling thought that has got to do with people who would say, I want to know my partner sexually before we get married, so that when we go into the marriage, I don't get disappointed. People who tend to think about these things has a high possibility or chance of getting pregnant when they engage in these acts. Would you say that it's not so bad to want to know your partner's sexual capacity before you even decide to say, yes, I do?
Yeah, this topic has come out severally. And personally, let me state my stand. I'm a Christian, a strong believer. I don't miss words when it comes to some of these things. And I believe that there are right procedure to everything. And that is the number one reason when we start raising our kids. We don't pick them from where they are right after birth and then place them at the university level. You want them to go through the normal process. By the time they get to the university level, maturity of setting, then they will begin to reason with it. Same thing applies to marriage. I heard a lot of people saying that I am courting and I am dating. We are studying one another. And so permit me to have sex with you. I'm going to use the raw words over here. I don't pretend when I'm doing some of these things. And so when we say let's have sex, and then let me test your sexual ability, that one day when we are married, I want to cross-check if all these things are intact. I ask a simple, very question: should you sleep with a woman and then she's not the correct type? Then you drop the woman, go in for the second person. You test that one is also not correct. Then you keep testing, and then you are leaving the second hand behind for who to marry. And I have that strong belief in myself that we should be disciplined as a society, even as Christians. When we get to the shops and we want to buy products and everything, when you take the commodity, you pay the price, and then you come back, whether it tastes good or sour in your mouth, you have paid for it. Maybe next time do your research very well, then you can get the right commodity. You don't take it and come back with it and say, I don't like the taste, I don't like the appetite of it, so I am bringing it back for my cash. We should respect.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but when it comes to marriage, there's nothing like testing the product and it's not good, so you go back and do your better research.
So that is what I'm saying, that the basic stance of my God that I know. God also doesn't give us the hand that we should test before we marry. When you discover a woman you are interested in, follow the procedure, see the family, do the normal thing. When you finish, bring it to the house of God. Let the men and women of God lay their hands. And this is where I have the problem. That even if the woman might have an issue coming to sexual lifestyle, and then the man even have an issue over there, right after the marriage, I believe so much in the power of prayer that when we come to the house of God and hands are laid upon the marriage, anything that is negative with it can be corrected. He is the creator of the universe. He knows all of us, and so he has the power to do that. But when we keep trying these things, and I keep telling most of the young girls, any man who wanted to test you before the person marries you, walk out.
Well, that's strong. Let me come to Lady Justina. We've spoken a lot, and the initial question was, is it even right to engage in sex before marriage, just so you know the sexual capacity of your partner? I want you to take a bite on that.
Thank you so much. I'm not here to say whether it's wrong or right, but the point is, like Apostle said, the Bible says, bring forth a child the way they should go, and when they grow, they will not depart.
Right.
So it boils down to socialization. Marriage goes beyond sex and childbirth. So if you are getting in because of a child, it is not on a safe ground.
Right.
However, there are two aspects that we have to look at this. We have the unfortunate or the mistake. Then we have the lack of knowledge one. Okay. So when we are raising children, we should raise them holistically. If you're taking your child to church, why are you taking your child to church? Have you, as a parent, sat your child down at that level to let the child know essence of going to church? It's not about going dancing and coming back. We have age-appropriate conversations. Right from the time the child could start saying, Mama, Dada, come, go. You start having this communication and instilling discipline in the child. Sex is a need that every human being goes through it. It's just like being hungry. When you're hungry, you look for food and eat it. So sex becomes like, I am hungry, you are hungry. We've decided that you take rice, I'll take rice. Then let's eat it together. That is how practically sex looks like. So it takes discipline for you to say no, because this is not the time.
So then you go
and it takes somebody to help you to develop that skill, discipline. You don't go hungry because you don't go around picking people's food because you're hungry.
Right.
But you are taught that if it is not yours, don't take it. It's the same with sex. But we don't bring sex in. We make it look like it's something, I don't want to use, it's sacred. So you have to be groomed towards it. Just like you are being groomed, don't take what is not yours. Sex is part of it, but they don't mention it. Okay? And as human beings, as we evolve and develop, the sexual drives naturally comes with it. But if you are groomed towards that, you know how to control that. You know how to regulate that emotion. You know when the feeling something is doing you, when you see that guy, when you see that lady, how to handle yourself, because you've been taught the route to go. So here it's not about the parties that have committed the offense or the mistake, but it stems from the root. So here I'm speaking to parents. I'm speaking to the leaders of the church, our children's service or children's ministry. Are the teachers trained to be bold to talk about age-appropriate sex issues with the children? And why they are feeling the way they are feeling, for them to grow up in that order, to be disciplined.
You know, in the educational system, there's adolescent reproductive health. There's a topic that you get to treat. And I noticed that growing up, even that becomes some form of a problem, because mentioning some parts of the body, you know, people get shy, and some of the students, nobody wants to say this. Hey, say he said that, and then you are caned for it. Do you think this is the basics to why, even up till now, people are not bold enough to speak about these things?
Exactly. Why must we feel shy? Now, the parents have their role to play. Teachers have their role to play. The church has a role to play. And are they playing the role? Parents are either tired or they don't know. So they go to church to go and learn. And the pastor is struggling to tell or polish it, or speaking in a language parents don't understand, or parents are refusing to learn. Teachers, same. Either they are tired, focusing on minding their own business, or doing what they can. So you see that it's a teamwork. Everybody must play their role. The government is playing the role by putting down the structures and then recruiting teachers. Now it takes the rest to play their role. So if we miss the socialization, the upbringing, the training part, these are some of the things we are saying now. So now it's a norm. However, we have people, for whatever reason, they are also doing it. Now I know parents who tell their child, go and impregnate and come. It's a part of socialization or what they believe. We can't hold them. But if you believe and you have a purpose, then discipline, morality, all comes to play. Because, like I said earlier, marriage goes beyond childbirth. So if that is the reason, most people don't succeed. Others are being able to do it. Though it's not how you start, it's what you want and how you want it done. So just like when you are schooling, you have the patience to go through primary 1 up to 6.
Yeah.
You fail, you raise it, you repeat it, you don't give up. You go to uni the same way. You want to become this person, and after uni you have to go and take a short course somewhere, and you are going through, you don't complain. But when it comes to upbringing and then learning before marriage, that one we get tired. It's because in discipline was not instilled in us, or we chose to ignore.
Well, it takes my attention to a recent Mother's Day. Now, I have this friend who called, and she was crying on the phone, evangelist, and I asked why. Then she says her aunties called, or she rather called them to wish them Happy Mother's Day. And she said 34, and then they say thank you after she wished them. And then the next thing is, we pray next year by this time, we would also call you to wish you a Happy Mother's Day. Know that marriage is not for everybody, so at least, yana wo baako. That was what they told her.
Now that
And
is
she
also
felt
becoming
so
a norm.
emotional. Yes, that is it that they are not so concerned about marrying properly, going through the system, but they rather want you to have a child just so you can one day stay somewhere and say, "Oh, I have a child, even though I didn't get married." Reverend, let me come to you. This is somebody who is a Christian, and her family are also Christian, and they are calling to do this. What happens to the person? What's the extent to which she could go? What can she do?
There is a lot I believe that she can do for herself. Like I keep saying, you are matured enough to handle certain things by yourself. And if family is not coming on at the right direction, I believe God has also positioned people outside your family who are reasonable people who can bear with you, understand you, and then encourage you to carry on. Even just like the scripture said that there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. That alone should tell you that there are people outside the box who are more connected, more intelligent, and then more compassionate about your life, even way beyond the things your blood can tell you. One thing they need to understand, just like the lady just said, one thing we need to understand in life, I keep telling people that I didn't get to the altar to marry my wife because of childbirth. If it is about children, I can get it anywhere. I wanted a companion, somebody that can partner with me, reason together with me based on my vision and then the things that I have ahead of life. Somebody I can call my own. We sit, we dialogue, we chat, we have fun and everything, then we carry on. And so when I'm going to get married, just like the scripture again said that children are gifts from the Lord. And if these things are gifts and not the manufacture of we ourselves, then we should be more dependent on the giver who gives them. People should understand this, that life has a different branches, and the way God is taking me through certain things cannot be the same way that you are also going through. People have born two, and no father saw the name of I want to get the child to raise on my own. Today, go down personally and chat with them. The kind of challenges and the burdens that they are going through, nobody is there, but they hide it, they cover it because they wouldn't want to see the embarrassment, everything around them. But they are dying in silence. But I pray that they should be able to understand that childbirth or marriage with children is not the same as getting married to some people are married for years, no children, but they are still happy. They can choose to adopt or be with somebody to help with their resources. And so she should take comfort in some of these words and encourage herself that listen, no matter what happens, God will show me the right way. There are wise people around you that can guide you to make a better choice for yourself rather than getting pregnant anyhow. That is what they will tell you, anyhow, because they are looking at the age and they wanted to fix themselves even before God even comes on board. So they should reason up and align with their vision. You have a vision. The fact that you are not married, you have a work, you serve your God, you love people around you. Focus on that. Do that. Do a little charitable things you can do to other people's own, and the blessings still await you.
Let me just add something
so
to what
before you do that, at the center of all of these things are family members, and they are the ones who push you to go further. This is her family. Like I said, what is she going to do? Reverend, you've advised on that, Lady Justina, right? Yeah. What do you want to add to that?
So what I want to add is that a time comes in a person's life, you cannot blame anybody except yourself. And again, you are a Christian. What kind of Christian are you? Is it because you go to church? Is it because the family belongs to a particular denomination? No. Christianity is a lifestyle, a minute by minute life. In fact, when you are in your washroom, Christianity matters. Right. If you are, when you are in your washroom when nobody sees you, God is there with you. So the best thing is to find your purpose in Christ, your maker. Is it meant for everybody? Is that God's plan? That is the first question. If you're a Christian, go back to God. Is it for me? What do you want me to do? Because who is man to put age? And usually women go through that because society think a woman's have a limited time. And today we have examples today. If yesterday we say that Sarah then time was miracles are happening. I know a 60-year-old after retirement she wanted to have a child. The medics are saying that just make sure your womb is still there. Even if it is their holes punch in, they can mend it for you to have a child. So what is it that you are up to? What's your Christianity all about? There is a purpose why God will delay. Or there's a purpose why God will not let you go through. Don't think for God or don't move ahead. The point is, if you know your God, let people say whatever you say. As a psychologist, I'll bring this one in. You see, there are two things in life we have to look at. What is in your control and what is outside your control. And one important thing is what people say or what people think about you is out of your control. You can't do anything about it. So you don't go to bed with it. It's a waste of time and energy. But the thought you have about yourself, because the same man that are pushing you because of age, go and have a child, they are the same people who question you. So who is the father of this child? And that alone is another problem for you and that innocent child. And God didn't make childbirth outside marriage. So single parenting it's not the appropriate way, even though it happens. However, certain mistakes are allowed because God uses those mistakes. But when it is deliberate, you can't tell me it's a mistake. So find your purpose in Christ, that if you're a believer, don't just belong to a church, but find your purpose and live Christ-like. Hannah did not have a child for a time that everybody thought it won't happen. Abraham, the father of all nations, only one child. Now, should we be there with God? God, are you serious? How can I be a father of all nations with just a child? But out of that child, even that child, how long did it take? So God in his plan has so many ways and so many steps to get there. It takes patience, discipline, commitment, and faith for you to go there. Don't move ahead of God, because when he was separating, I was just telling my girl, when God was separating the waters from the land, where were you? When he was giving the horse that energy, where were you? So who are you to question? If he even decide that has no marriage, no childbirth, does that mean you can't do anything to please God or praise him? There are 10,000 children out there that you are supposed to mother. Until you take that responsibility, sometimes God will deny you what you think you deserve. I'm speaking as a believer.
Right.
As a psychologist, I'll tell you, what do you want? Do you want a child? Or because people are saying? Because if you are following what people are saying, that is outside your control. You have a child and regret. And that regret will affect the raising of the child, which we don't need to get there. So Apostle said there are so many people around to help that your friend. And she's not 34.
Yeah.
But you have 50 and those. I mean, she's living in her cycle. She should get out. Get help. Get people who think alike. Not entertaining people who will label you wrongly for you to move on. Usually these things cripple people, so they go to church and they feel God has disappointed them and they won't do what they are supposed to do. This is the time you have to invest. Invest in any aspect of your life. Health, spiritual, community, social, academic, career. This is the time. Because when you start having children, you wouldn't have some of the luxury to do or learn some of these things. So if you are watching this program and you think, oh, it's getting too late, there's nothing like too late in the word of God. In fact, the originator and creator of life has nothing too late, because a day is like 1,000 years before him, and 1,000 years is like a day before him. So our 24 hours is just a minute or a dot. So focus on what you can do.
Let's take the instance where there are couples, a guy and a lady, with the aim of getting married. But of course, the first step is to try and get to know each other. And so that's where dating and courtship comes in. As human as we are, we would definitely go through that stage where you have said we feel aroused and would want to have a feel of what we are not supposed to. In the case where they engage in these premarital sex, and then there's the incident of pregnancy, does that mean automatic marriage? Because already they are on the path. Okay, it's just that something came too early, but they're already on the path. Is it automatic marriage? If not, what should we do? Let me start with the evangelist.
All right, so I think that is where the PowerPoint is. About 60% of everything that we are discussing this morning, I believe, of the troubles, about 60% of them is coming from society and then our families. And that is where people lose the mark and then they go off the gear and they start doing things they shouldn't do. Currently, we are about to shoot a training program for 3 months for couples and singles, and even those who are married for 3 months, because we wanted to groom them and then train them to go through the right ways before coming to the next stage of their marriage. And it is very important because we have a lot of people right now going through counseling section, and the kind of things they experience is a result of they shifting the post. they didn't get fully prepared before they jumped to the next stage of the marriage, and they thought sex was everything. So once they enjoyed the thing and it's like, I love you, I love you, I love you, within 3 months the thing begins to fade off, and then the reality dawns on you, and it's like, are you the person I got married to? Are you sure you are the one I got married to? Because the thing is now coming down. So I keep telling people, when you marry because of sex, I give you just 2-3 years in the marriage, and then the thing will just be calmed. Sometimes you can be there, you will see the thing, and then the appetite is not even there. So sex is just part of the package. It's not the real thing.
Right.
Other things are involved. So if these people that you are talking about are going through the process of courtship and then dating, believing that one day they will settle down, then the emotions and everything just pop up, and then unfortunately they just have to zoom into a place where they are not supposed to be. Then pregnancy zooms out. It depends on the two individuals who are supposed to take their decision. They have to unlearn to learn again, even in that process. But if one party keeps telling you that, listen, we are planning to settle down, we are not there yet, but the pregnancy occurred, and the stigma and everything that will come from family and then society, why don't we rush ourselves and then zoom into this thing quickly, and then we just go away? And then maybe one party will be pushing for, the other party will be pushing against. I keep saying that pregnancy is not a tag for marriage. Pregnancy is not a tag for marriage. And many of our young girls are pregnant, and their families are pushing it on these men. I am not saying they are not responsible. They might be responsible for the pregnancy, but maybe they were not ready for the real marriage.
Yeah.
When you push it on them and they settle down, do you know the kind of treatment that will come to your girl? Do you know the kind of pain they will go through? Do you know the kind of challenge that they will go through? So the man can accept responsibility of the child, but marriage should be a second thought, where the two of them need to understand each other before coming to agree. Because sex before marriage itself, and it opens the door for you to settle down, you block a lot of things in the process. And so now extra burdens and challenges now will come. Probably we've not planned for it, but antenatal will come, challenges will come, health-wise other issues will come, and these things have not been well planned for. So that is where the tension and then the pressure now begins to dawn on you. And so when these things begin to come on you, then your real character and everything about now begins to fall out, and people begin to understand. So now calling you babes, I mean, the Gen Z generation now, they have all the ways to call their partners. And go to the older generation, they still maintain their old ways. Mirror and sad of things. And it's working for them. But the Gen Zs are doing crazy things, we don't understand them of late. And I pray that wisdom and grace will come upon them for them to know the right perspective to go through some of this. So personally, I think people should take their time. People should relax. There is no competition in relationship, no competition in marriage. It's about the two parties. You know where you are coming from, and you know where you are heading towards to. So even if the pregnancy should come, the two people should decide, are we ready to settle down? Even if they are ready, I still believe that there are procedures they have to go through. One thing I have, the kind of fear I have in me as I sit here right now, when I impregnate somebody's daughter who I'm not married to, indirectly, I have insulted the parents of this little woman. And the question is, they groom her, they train her. If you wanted her to be part of you, then go do the needful, respectfully. Bring some honor and respect to the parents, then you get such a woman to your place. By impregnating this one before going for the hand of the girl in marriage, it's an insult even to the family of the young girl, and even embarrassment to the two persons as well. So I think earlier on, lady mentioned of something, and the question is, if the churches are not bold enough to start teaching the right things, use the right words. And I keep saying that in our generation now, we have covered so many things which are not uncovered, and so you speak to people in different languages and they don't get the clear picture. But I believe that the time has come for you to uncover that people will know the reality on the grounds. When you are not married, you don't do this. When you are not married, you don't do that. When you, this thing should be a hardcore in our lives. If we don't push it with so much intensity, that is where the challenges are happening. And this brings in about the cohabitations and everything, because people feel marriage is now loose. Anytime at all I want to get it, I will get it. Anytime I want to get it, we should take our time with this thing called marriage. Many people are watching who are weeping and wailing in their rooms. They come up and they can polish their face, and nobody can tell the pain that they are going through, all because the foundation was not right. Just like the scripture says, if the foundation was not right, what would the righteous do? What would the righteous do? So we should take our time to build a solid foundation in our relationship and in our marriages. That is going to give us the leverage to enjoy and not to endure. So I believe they should take their time. Even if the pregnancy is in, they should look for a counselor. Come on board, talk to the two parties. I believe a better solution will be addressed over there.
Well, fortunately, we have a counselor. So, taking the same scenario where they're on the path to marriage, for this pregnancy? What do
Yeah,
they do?
so it depends on several factors. And then Papa has mentioned one that is a major lead cause of they marrying when they are not even certain. But let's look at the factors. We have the physical health, our purpose in life. Does that align with each other? The fact that we are doing boyfriend, girlfriend, dating, courting, does that align with our individual purpose? And purpose is connected to your inner being, the spirit that is in you. Are you aligned financially, socially, psychologically, and then in terms of career development? So all these factors come to play a role. And if one is not ready, don't. So you cast your mind back, traditional Akan, Ewes, and then I don't know whether it's the Ga. I think it's Ga, or there are three that I know for sure. We don't marry when a woman is pregnant.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I think it was for that reason. You may be going forward because of pregnancy to avoid what Papa just mentioned, that disgracing the family and all that. Then you go in. Then the baby comes, something happened. You lose the baby. Marriage starts having issues. To avoid that, let's allow the woman to give birth. If indeed she's pregnant, she go through it. And then when she is done, paternity is tested. They have so many ways of testing paternity. You take responsibility. Then you take time to decide whether in all aspects that I mentioned, financially, spiritually, you are ready to be together. These factors must not be neglected. And it's the same reason why you will marry. But if one is not certain, don't push him. And then in that sense, I'll speak to families. Yes, it's a disgrace. But I always cite this. We can't go to God with two wrongs.
Right.
The fact that the child has wronged God by having sex when not supposed to, we can't force them to marry where they go in and kill themselves. Or the child suffers, because some people hate the children that comes out because, but not for you. I wouldn't have settled for this man. Some men even say that she forced me, she pushed the pregnancy on me after 3 years of living together. I have worked with a 25-year-old marriage that the man says that I wasn't certain for marriage. I didn't know what marriage was, but because of the pregnancy, I have to give in. My parents were pushing that once, you see, after 25 years. After 25 years. So we should consider all these factors because it's pillars of health. If one is not working well, we shouldn't push. So I will encourage families, I will encourage society that, and then the church. Normally, to avoid sanctions and all that, we cover up and we do the white wedding as if nothing is happening. Sometimes some elders in the church, you could see a woman when a woman is pregnant. They see but pretend. If they go through proper counseling, the counselor should see. You get it? And my issue is, I'm not saying don't punish, it's the rule. You join a group and these are the rules governing it. But how it is done could force them to marry, or could force them to even go for abortion or other alternative. But in as much as spiritual growth cannot be measured at the same level, we should know that in the church. Once that happens, the person needs spiritual guidance. If the person is spiritually doing well, psychologically doing well, these things won't happen because discipline would have been built. Then you should tell the church that the person needs help. So this is the time we help the person, but we don't throw away the person. We don't judge the person. We don't criticize the person. After all, we are not God. You see, Apostle said, he is not God to say wrong or right, but it is happening. What can we do to help so that it won't repeat? Or how can we help this person not to end up getting sick? My concern is about we have postpartum health issues. That is after childbirth health issues stemming from physical health to mental health, and those criticisms and judgments worsens it, including high blood pressure, which might push to eclampsia and all those things. That is not healthy for the mother or the child. Sometimes we think about career and education. Yes, it's be fluctuating or curtailed, but you can still get us back if you get support. And most of these things go against the women, make it look like it's a woman's fault. It is both of you. So if families will sit people down and then tell people to stop going to school or stop because of that, then it should be the man too. The parties should bear the consequences, not only one person. Again, those who are doing other things to prevent this because of labeling and the judgment, you can prevent pregnancy, but think of other health issues, other diseases that we are getting through sex and through kissing and through that. COVID was not transmitted through blood, sweat, saliva, and all those things. And you are kissing and you think you are using contraceptives and all that. But think about those things too. So what I'm trying to say is when it happens, it has happened. There's a saying in Akanda, even in Samanfo Pelmododo, how much more? Some of these things, God uses these to teach us lessons, to strengthen our faith, to reveal our weakness so that we get help. So this is the time we have to help the person know God better and come out with a testimony.
Well, in both submissions, there has been a mention of family. And you even cited the example where some traditions do not allow the lady to get pregnant. But of course, we still see that in our current generation, where the family would even push you to go and do that because they feel you are bringing some form of dent to them. Now, it appears that family is actually losing out on values in this instance, where they would have to push their word to do it, to the extent that if you don't do it, then you become a single parent and they don't even give you any support. Now, the other side that I've been thinking about is where the lady or the man says, okay, we are not ready, have the child. I noticed that right after birth, there is no marriage. Because that's when they begin to spot certain things they don't like about the lady, and then the lady ends up being a single parent. Don't you think that is what most ladies are trying to avoid? And so rather than being a baby mama, let me go into the marriage and endure, like Reverend is saying, so that people will not start tagging me with the numbers. Because who knows, there may be another man that you say, okay, I think this is right for me, but how is he going to treat your first child? All of these things come into play when making a decision to whether marry or not. Evangelist, don't you think so?
Yeah, I think let me add one point to what Mama just said, and then she made mention of one word. I keep telling most of my people that listen, God says something personally to all of us sometimes. I hate what you have done, but I still love you. I hate it, but I still love you. Can we transfer that thing back into this situation where we can say that our wars went out waywardly, did all the crazy things, but we still love them? So the discipline should go with love, not hatred and not bitterness. I hate it, but I still love you. And that is where we will have enough time to sit with them, counsel them, pray with them, teach them, show them love, let them know that you were wrong, but we can't throw you out because even we ourselves are not right in the sight of God, but God still holds us high. So if we will be able to understand some of these things, they made an error, they made a mistake, but we can't take them out. Nobody even can tell the destiny of that particular child who is coming up. And out of the love you've shown that child, practically one day this child grows up and will be a responsible person in life and will be a blessing to the entire nation as well. So we should also pick it from that perspective that you will not get everybody to be righteous in your side the way you expected. The errors will come, the mistakes will come, but the question is, how do we help them to walk out of it and then live a peaceful and a quiet life? Again, looking at this topic again, you are talking about the lady getting pregnant and the man say you give birth. After the birth issues, then we look at the next stage of the marriage, and she discovered that the marriage is not coming. That is why I keep saying that once the woman discovers she is pregnant, instantly I believe they will need a counselor, somebody to come on board, try to shape them, encourage them, teach them the norms. When they are able to understand these things, it will put them on the right path. Now listen, give birth to the child, let's nurture the child. By the time you are through, all the point that we mix even before the marriage, these counselors and ministers can help us to shape them in. So a man impregnates a woman who is not working and then discovered a baby is in. I have to be responsible. Whilst the woman is going through the process of labor, I also have to look for a job and get some cash to come on board and to help. So when we are able to teach them these things with love, I believe that broken relationships and broken marriages can be amended.
Right.
I have a woman I know who was telling the daughters that, listen, this time around in our generation, demons and witches are real. I'm your mother and I've experienced it. So all of you, before you move to the altar for your marriage, I wanted you to put some weight. And the weight over there was to, have sex with the man, get pregnant at least 1 or 2 months, and then we know we have secured the relationship. Then the daughter just came to me and said, this is what my mom was saying. Then I went back to the woman in respect. I said, Mommy, listen, I have seen people getting married who were pregnant for 3 months. Right after they married, they lose the pregnancy. What do you also say? God is not blind. God sees. We trust in him, we believe in him. Anything you have lost, he has the power to restore it overnight. So don't look at your fears, but rather turn your fears into faith and believe that God can do anything possible for you. Go into the marriage with the rules of the Bible, of your norms and everything, and allow the grace of God to follow you. What you want will come back. I remember telling people a lot of story about a friend who was going to marry to the lady, and then practically the lady cross-check everything. There is no way she can deliver even when they get married. The wounds and everything are blocked. There were troubles, issues with it. But the guy says, I still love this woman. I say the power of love can overturn so many things in life. If that's what you believe in, let's keep it to prayer. We held into prayer. We believed God. We fasted. We prayed. Then he married this lady. 2 years, nothing was coming. Then the family started coming out. We told you, we told you, we told you, we told you. And the guy was confused. So pressure was for him to marry a second woman. I said, what assurance do you have that the second woman is also coming to get pregnant for you? Don't add that to your problems. I still believe God can do something. The 3rd year, the woman started developing some kind of sicknesses here and there. They went in for a test and it was there. And for the first time, twins. So I believe in patience. Today is not right for me, but tomorrow may be my timing. And so the boys also should stop running away and chopping these girls. Let me use their language. Chopping these girls with the mindset of I want to enjoy myself and let them go. If they were your sisters, what would you say? If by mistake this thing happened, I still want you to be a man. But most of them are boys and I don't blame them. So boys who married and men who married are not the same. Boys in relationship and men in relationship are not the same. It all boils down to the fear of God and maturity. If you are not mature, the way you handle issues when they come will determine. If you impregnate a woman and the woman comes and tells you I am pregnant, automatically, because you are, the reason why the fear comes on board are the pillars mommy is talking about, financially, health-wise, and all those things. They are not ready. So that thing alone triggers something because I've impregnated a woman and my account is red. I haven't had 500 Ghana cedis in my account. How do I take care of this woman and then the baby? But wisdom should tell you, relax, talk to people who are mature, who can counsel you properly, come back, resolve yourself, and carry on. And a wise man will tell you, I am responsible. I know I have impregnated you. But what do? I don't work. Now they are looking for solution, even in the midst of the trouble. And that is where we can come on board to be of help to these people. So pregnancy before marriage, we should be cautious the way we handle it. If not, we are killing people even before their time. And that is where the error might come from. And so when you see some of them getting pregnant and then going in for abortion, all kinds of stuff, and they knew the outcome. Should I get pregnant? Should my people get to know? They will kill us before our time. So why don't we secretly destroy the baby and then we pretend as if all is well, then we carry on with the race? I can tell you on all records that most of the abortions committed are out of fear. What my dad, my mom, my friends, my people gets to know, I'll be tagged, and even the society. I met one young lady in our area, secondary school, Form 3. Then she got pregnant. When she was preparing towards her final exams, then the pregnancy also set in. Come and see the mother. The blasting, the insult, the society, she walks out, everybody was talking hard on her. One day I just invited a counselor, pray with her and encourage her. I said, listen, you made a mistake, but out of your mistake, there is still a solution for you, if only you will comply with that. So number one, you have to do what I call the double do. Double do means you will take care of the pregnancy and then you also take care of your academics Marry the two together. I will be at the center by the grace of God to be of help to you. I'll pray, I'll counsel you. All the little things you might need to help you to carry your will, do it. So you are now going to do the double do. She said, I'll try my best. Went through with her through the process. Sometimes, the early stages of pregnancy and then trying to study as well, the challenges over there. But she was able to go through it. Gradually, she finished the exams. Few months, she delivered a baby boy. And the young man initially walked out. After the exams, then the lady came back fully knowing that I'm now taking care of the pregnancy. The insults were still coming, but I was there to encourage him. One day I had a link with the guy that called the young man, sat him down, talked to him. He started crying like a little baby. I said, go back. You are responsible. Any words this lady speaks against you will follow you the rest of your life, I'm telling you. The guy came back and met with the girl. They went to apologize to the lady's mother, who was still refusing. Apparently, on few consideration, I wanted to see the mother. I look at the woman I was just telling her, do you know you also went through the same process like your daughter? And the woman said, who told you? Who told you? I said, but me, I am not a fetish priest. I'm a real man of God. And I'm telling you, I said, that is exactly what I experienced when I was a child. So because you couldn't resolve the issue, everything was transported through your seed. And now your child is going through. So this is the time I expected you to love your child, hug your child. I am not saying do this thing because you've done the right thing. But based on your experience of what you went through, God is trying to paint the picture. If you have resolved it, and I keep telling her, the enemy you refuse to kill in your time will live to fight your children. So all the challenges sometimes our kids are going through, when we observe them, we can tell we make those errors whilst we are young and we didn't find solution to them. Now the enemy has taken advantage, pushing it into the life of our children. And she said, I'm sorry. Brought the girl back home, encouraged her, taking care of her, blah, 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 blah. The results came and she made it right away to the university. People were studying alone, no pregnancy, bomb, they couldn't make it. A woman was pregnant, staying at the same time, and was able to make it to the university. The mother took the child and straight. Now she's completed university. Anytime she sees me, she says, you are my God. I said, I can never be your God. Your God is your God. You are a friend in need, and a friend came on board to help. Simple.
Wow, that's quite impressive. I don't know how I'm all smiling, but I'm glad. I'm glad you did this work. Let's take a step back to the initial question, where there's the pregnancy, and they would want to end up in marriage. What should they do? Because they don't want to be tagged as spawn one. They don't want people pointing fingers at them. Sometimes right after birth, people say that I don't want to get married to you again. I want to move the other way. There's that pain, especially for the lady. What does she do?
You see, stigma starts within us. Now, who are you before the pregnancy? Who are you in the pregnancy? Who are you after the pregnancy? What is your purpose? What can you do for yourself? It is better to be a single mother, a born one, and have your sanity than being married and living in hell. Again, broken relationships are far better than broken marriages. There are certain mistakes that we call it vicarious learning. When somebody is ahead of you, you have the opportunity to observe and learn. So there are certain mistakes you can't make because you have somebody ahead of you. And the person is telling you that don't wait till the baby is born. For all you know, the guy wants you because of the baby to glorify himself, to satisfy societal need. But when it comes to marriage, it's not a societal thing. It's just the right and the ceremony that is society and family based. But the marriage itself is for three. You, the man, and God the Father and the Holy Spirit. It's a triangle. Where did you see family in there? Yes, they come in to support, but they are out of your control. So do not, I mentioned earlier, do not let what others say define you. Do not let the fact that you have a child before marriage define you. Because you are not the pregnancy. You are not the situation. You are you before that. And you should be able to get help. That's why you need help to make the right decision. Because it's more sad to be tagged as a divorcee than you have a child but never married. A man who really need, a woman is a need to a man.
Yeah.
So that man who need your kind would pick you and pick your baggages and your whatever that follows you. If the person have issue with you having a child, run away. Don't argue. Don't give reasons. Just walk away. The person is not ready. The person doesn't need you. And you should be firm on your own to live a life of your own. Like I said, there are some mistakes God take us through to get us there. A good example is Joseph in the Bible. I'm sure if Joseph knew that the pit, the slave masters will lead him to his glory, he would have sung hallelujah whilst the siblings were doing that. But he cried because he thought, I'm leaving my father, I'm leaving my comfort. But there was better ahead. That is how God works. God moves in mysterious ways. The only thing is, don't lose faith because you've gone through that. That is why I have to look for that family. I'm not talking about biological. Those who will be with you in pain are your real family. And those are the people God grants us. But we refuse to hear and see those people. And as I speak, I'm speaking to families too. We can't correct wrongs with wrongdoings. It won't work. And then stop correcting your mistakes with your children. These things are happening because we want to correct our mistakes with our children. Your child is not you. So you can't correct your mistake with your child. And then again, be careful how you judge others, because the same measurements will be used. Right. If you are quick to criticize and judge other people's children, they are watching. It is where the labeling comes in. You are the first to label other people's children. They will label yours too for you. Or they will even set a trap. But be careful not to fall into those traps, or not to be so hard on people. That's why I said in the church, it should tell us that that particular person need more to grow in the spirit, but not taking the person out. Yes, if you have any punishment, I don't have any problem, but how it is being done. So if you are sanctioning the person because of that, give the person a counselor, so that the person will not walk alone, because knowing that you are pregnant before marriage itself brings its own stresses. That causes a lot of health issues. Why should we add on when we can save both mother and child, and even the man in question, and bring them back to Christ? There are people who did worse than pregnancy, but like Papa said, God says, I don't like what you are doing, but I love you. Let's look at David, the man after God's own heart. What crime didn't David commit? So this God that we serve, he doesn't answer to people. That is why he's the only person who kills and nobody can say he's a murderer. So these mistakes have come. It tells us the mistakes we ourselves have made in raising these children. So we start making corrections. So parents shouldn't also camp their words by way of preventing these things. You raise a child to a level, you allow the child to go, then you observe and see where I have to patch up. But if you are camping your child because to avoid that, when the mistakes come, how would you know and correct them? Again, testing the sexual potency of partners. There are so many ways to do it without having physical contact. There are so many ways to test the potency of a man on a woman, not necessarily having sex. So we have a lot to learn.
Well, I'd want us to take a breather on this. When we come back, I am interested in how to test the partner without having sex. So let's take a breather here.
Faith-based topics and religious doctrines oftentimes brews confusion, debates, defensive postures, and passionate conversations. As a people, our allegiance to a denominational doctrine and canons must not cloud our judgment to miss the real focus of being Christ and biblical centered. Do our doctrines mold and shaping our identity, or they cloud our judgment and enslave our actions? Welcome to Religious Doctrines on the Hot Seat, exclusively on Adward TV, every Sunday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. as our host Reginald Percival Robertson and Reverend Father Ebenezer Petustaus take you on a captivating journey through religious doctrines. This live show offers compelling analysis, expert insights, and debates on vital faith-based topics. Dive into thought-provoking discussions that challenge your perspectives and deepen your understanding of religious teachings. Religious Doctrines on the Hot Seat, reforming mentalities, challenging dogmas.
When the time has come to make that choice, PPAG will be PPAG.
Wokeni bi a oben wo anabusieni bi ayewayayade ana wo fa yayade mu sika fem watinkam ana mpo adwumam eye wo se wa hye ho so a nanso sesei de wapemon debi wo mfata se wo fasa oya onum oba abofra ana bema bia wo ho kwan se otenase a ehu bia anim fa hodie efri basabasa ye ho fa hodie esanse oye onipenti wo ho kwan se wo senior wo pese eto wo nipadua ho aginaye a family planning ene ho akwankyereka ho enane bobia so nyina so basabasa yo ye nipa fa hodie ntiatiaso na ye kabo mu a ye betumi dia bawie SGBV no bi ne emunato ohye aware efie mu asetena yayade ema twetietwa ne ne ekeka ho nyina ekoso wo ye efiefiem suku ahodom ejom mpo ye nwumem enti kasa fa hodie enni ho mankrofuko kakra bi o fa hodie ewo ho ma ye nyina se akoda ana panyin obema ana oba odefo ana ohiani wo ho kwan se wo ka debi wo ho kwan se wonya ahobambo enso se wo beda wa wodi SGBV mutintiman edidi a kire se ye koma ayayade yi bekoso a na mmom se ye kasa ye begipi nkwa hwan nanim ebi mpo a na wo je wodofo bi a anka obetumi akoto saa amane yi mu emema ne mama ye wa adwumayo gina SGBV anim fanidie efrise eni wo mfata obi bia se woni mo bia onam SGBV mu a freyen kasa wo 0800 2010 ana WhatsApp wo 0245118228 na ye beye nomwa kai se ofre we die wontua hwe mayemwa o emo wa mane enche asoye a efata te se dofsu mo mayemmom enchichiri wiase a obia wo fa hodie wani swade hunu a ehu bia ni kada bi che basabasa yo kayu che nidie efri se wo ho kwan yenkasa emwa ahotoso wom yenkasa help you can trust sa semi free Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana asoye a UNFPA bonechidom.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is Family Life on Adward Television. My name is Elizabeth and your name is Tamakloe. And today we are treating a very sensitive issue. Well, it started off as sensitive, but now it's getting very interesting, and I like where we stopped from. So let's go back to where we had to pause on, and that's testing your partner to know his potency without engaging. I think this is one of the things that would actually solve this very problem. because people would want to engage in sexual activities, yes, to satisfy their sexual cravings. But again, there's also the notion that, well, I want to know who I'm ending up with. I don't want to go into the marriage and it's all boring. So how would I test him if I don't want to have sex with him, Justina?
Okay, thank you. One, what are you in for when it comes to the relationship? Is it having sex? Is it having children? That should be open to each other. You should talk about it. Again, delayed gratification is a level of trusting the person in terms of emergencies and urgencies. Assuming you are married and you are sick for 3 months, can he? That is when you say no and the person is able to understand that you are not ready for it. So either the woman telling the man that let's wait and do it right, and the man understands and wait. It's a sign that in terms of difficulty, he can wait. It's the same with the woman. How disciplined would he be if there are so many around and he will still stick to his promise and commitment to you? You get it?
Yeah.
Again, I always say that during premarital counseling, you tell will-be couple to do a lot of outdoor activities. So you meet a lot of people in a open social center. You observe his behavior. Is he somebody you can trust and depend on, or he can be socially driven? Now you talk about sensitive topics like masturbation. Is it okay? Is it not okay? When it happens, when you have the urge, do you use masturbation to suit yourself or not? You get to know who that person is. Because we have people who are married. They are sleeping and their partners are masturbating just by them. So no amount of sex you provide is enough. So they are telling you do this, do that, the unhealthy things people are doing in their relationship. Now we get to porn. The person is addicted or glued to pornography. You can talk about it. When you see sexual explicit images, what is the person's behavior? What is the person's opinion? You watch movies together and the abuse of all kinds. What is his take? These things are preparing you to know the kind of person you are dealing with. Teenage pregnancies, sex before marriage, you talk about it. What is the person's input? You watch a movie and you look down there and the person is aroused. What does he do? There are some men who are aroused in public and they are able to tell themselves that not here. Is he able to do that? Or he thinks once I'm aroused, it should happen. We have some men who believe that the morning rituals with men means that they should have sex. No. It's just a sign telling you that you are potent, you are healthy. It doesn't mean go and have sex. That is where discipline comes in. So the person I want to marry is the person disciplined. All these things are physical conversations, open conversations you're having, and you are taking decisions based on that. If you cannot wait for me at this point, there are some men who even get angry when women are saying that because I have menstrual cramps and you learn it from the right group. Can I take it or I can't take it? Where he's accusing usually comes from the men. If you love me, then I should have sex, then you should allow me. Some will even accuse you. If you are not giving it to me, then it means you are sleeping with others. Run away.
Yeah.
Run away. But we think we have to appease them by giving ourselves. Now, when you want to buy this thing in the shop and you don't have the means, you work for it. Now, if you get it free of charge, would you work and go and buy it again?
No.
So that is all about it. And again, if you want to have sex, have it because you want to have it. Don't have it because somebody is pushing you. So that you take responsibility. And I keep telling men, preventing pregnancy is not a woman's job. It's the parties who have agreed to have sex. Because it takes two to get pregnant. It is enough in our society that we always blame women. So women are taking contraceptives and it's giving them health implications. High blood pressure, obesity, even in marriages. I use this opportunity to tell men that it is time. It is the responsibility of both to decide. We have married men who tell women that I didn't ask you to get pregnant. Oh, but what did you do when you were leaving it in there? Knowing that it's a seed, when you put it in a fertile soil, it will germinate. What did you do about it? It takes education and learning. Again, know that that woman you are seeing like you are seeing me, like you are seeing you, will not remain the same. We evolve. And a woman's life totally changed after pregnancy and childbirth.
Right.
These are things men should learn. Of course, men also change, but society don't talk about it. I once was asking a man, do you think we also admire the way your skin look and your bottom is getting flat and your belly is coming? Women are mature to understand.
Yeah.
But men think so. Most women are doing a whole lot of things, killing themselves just to appease men. If the man is matured and learn to delay gratification, he will understand that because of childbirth, I should be able to wait for 3 months before. I know a woman who went for surgery and the man couldn't wait. So out of the anguish, she gave in, bruised the cut, had to be taken to the hospital. She didn't come back. What have we gained? If we had learned delaying gratification before we got married, that if no means wait and get ready and prepare well, it wouldn't have happened that way. Back to socialization. As we are raising the boys, we should start telling them this so that they get to know that yes, after childbirth, a woman will not be as tight as it used to be. Aging and health issues comes in. Just as a man gets to a certain age cannot sustain erection as it used to be. It's the same with a woman. Why are we complaints like society permit us to pick anyhow and anywhere, so it becomes an issue. Maturity and discipline means that you stay with a vow, you stay with a commitment. So if you are not ready, don't go through. Don't even start. Now, if you have sex, does it give you the marriage?
No.
Does it make the marriage work?
No.
If you ask the married ones, those who have married for more than 10 years, about a month, 3 months, they haven't even thought of sex. But it's unfortunate that those who are not there are rather running to what doesn't really make marriage works. Another point is also that for the marriage to be, the quality of the marriage does not depend on how it starts or how it will end, but what we decide to put in. I said earlier, when we want to become professors, we have the patience to go through the nitty-gritties. It's the same with marriage. What kind of marriage do I want? The man, ask yourself. The woman, ask yourself. What do I have to do to get it? It's not on a silver platter. You can't just buy it. You create it. And it takes the two to create that marriage they want, that home they want. That is why people will marry without children and they are doing well. Others have how many children and always there's an issue. It tells how they understood marriage. So let's understand the institution of marriage itself before we even decide we were going in either through pregnancy or genuinely. And families should also know, yes, it hurts because of our traditions, because of our expectations. But if we believe in God, God moves in mysterious way. It is not what has happened, but how we support it to get better. Because in account we say achia nembuye. The fact that she's pregnant doesn't mean her brains are gone or her hands cannot work again. With support, she can do it and do it better. Papa's example, I also have one. In fact, that semester was the best ever. Her results was magical. But this is a girl who got pregnant without knowing. You get it?
Yeah.
And with family support, she was able to go through. Now we are all happy. I'm not encouraging that we should do that. But when it happens, we can't kill them. It is not in our powers to judge them. After all, it is God that the person has offended, not you. You, the family, you are just a vessel that was used.
Right.
So the best you can do is to lead the person back to God. That is why I keep talking about the church and the conditions they give them. Yes, sanction them if that is the rule. But make sure by the time they are done with the sanction, they know God better than before. That is our responsibility.
When we're talking about the measuring the potency, I was expecting, let him do some 4 push-ups and 5 push-ups to know if he has like strength. We're expecting the practical one. So I was going to test Niashi from here, but unfortunately, we couldn't get that. But that's quite interesting. because nobody would sit down to say that, okay, in order to be able to test potency, it's not only about the strength, it's about the person's ability to even stay psychologically. Everything tells you how long the person.
In fact, sex is more psychological than physical.
Right.
So if all these things are not there, the person will have the biggest prick or penis, but will still not function. There are people who erect all right, but they can't sustain. By the time they get closer to the woman, it is gone. It stems from the mindset, how they see sex. And sex is not only about penetration. In fact, sex goes beyond physical penetration.
Right.
Maybe we should have a sex talk and then we talk more about that.
We definitely will, and I will be the host. I'll be here. But well, let me come back to the church, because in your submission kept hitting on the church. Like I mentioned earlier, there's been people who are married even in the church with pregnancy. Some are visible, others are not. They go through counseling session in the church. As to whether the counselors see it or not, we do not know. But those ones that are visible, of course, will be seen. But the marriage still happens. What role is the church playing in here? Is it that the church is not up to expectation, or is it that we are trying to mince things and trying to dilute certain traditions for us as the church?
I think the days of old cannot be compared to our generation now. The way they handle issues, especially in the days of old in the church, cannot be compared to now. Now we think about family, a larger family in the church. Touch one, you touch many. And we want the money, the tithe, and the offerings to come. So let's pretend as if we are blind, and then we carry them through. But my question is, whether you heard it or not, God is still not blind. God is still watching. And I always call for, a wake-up call, that the church at the point in time should be so raw in certain things. The pretense in the church sometimes are becoming too much. You spoke about somebody getting pregnant and then being dealt with in the church, either through punishment. Some people can even expel you. I know churches that can expel you from the church, and we are looking at bringing back the lost into the house of God. So even with the errors and the mistakes, what dimensions are we taking to heal them of their wounds and then their pains, and then cleansing them from the errors and the mistakes, and then bringing them back to align themselves with their God again, rather than making them look like pagans or Satan himself in the church, and people see them and they begin to look at them with strange eyes. And for all you know, the people looking at them with these strange eyes might have thrown away their own secretly at midnight, 2 o'clock a.m. and daytime they look nice, and so they destroyed their own, but somebody was bold enough to keep it for everybody to see. And because we don't see those ones, we also had a challenge with them. So me in the church, I see you, I will hit hard at you. Not because I hate you, but I love you. And that is one of the means that we can bring you back in alignment with your God. I am not doing it with bitterness or hatred, but doing it with love and compassion. I hate it when I see the youth going through some of these things, because they lose their time, they lose their energy, they lose focus. Productivity within the nation, the church, and the family goes down as a result of your weakness and what we are going through. So I think the church also needs to wake up at this point in time. Those days we have family talks, family messages, where we have the responsibility of parents, responsibilities of children, even the maids. All these things are being taught in the church. But currently, I think the church is drifting. Financial messages and all those kind of, I'm not saying they are not good. They are good, but sometimes the real thing ought to be the real thing. We don't rebuke men when they go outside their marriages. We don't correct women when they are also messing up, because there are churches where you have married men inside the church still running after these young girls. And these pregnancies that we are talking about, most of them are not boys that are young, that they are grooming up with. These are people that have impregnated girls and they are married by themselves. And so these things are hidden. And then they just rent them some apartments and they are there taking care of them secretly. But I said wrong is wrong and right is right. So when we see these things, we should also push it hard. And the man goes wrong and you are married, the punishment is there. The same applies to the woman and then the young ones that are coming. But when we cover these things up, and then we are bringing the standard of the church and even the things of God down. But the level must be kept high. One of the problems I also see within the church is like, our activities that we run, we believe in the crusades and the revivals, the all nights and all those things. But can we have dynamics, bring alongside programs that will bring the youth together, topics of this nature, bring the experts on board, let them have a discussion with them, and then have their minds to be reformed. That listen, we need to unlearn to learn. We have some bad stuff over there. I believe it is time we need to take them out and refuel our minds again. Most of our youngest are too naive, and the boys, excuse my language, are also weak when it comes to thinking, and that is the reason why they comply with everything that they wanted to do. But if they reason up and they hear the teachings, sound teachings and sound doctrines, I believe they will come back in alignment. That listen, meaning I love somebody that's not made sex. And I wrote in my book, I said, sex is a journey. Once you start, you can't finish. That is why in the wisdom of God, he recommended it for people who are married. And so when the young ones tasted this thing once, they can't stop. They can have the abortion. They can control it all the time. But still the thing keeps coming because it's more than sex. Sex is more than sex itself. There are many things involved. If you don't know, you don't know. And that is where the problem is. So with our young girls who are going through premarital counseling sessions and dating, I think it's time for them to wake up. Some of them don't do it. They are doing try and error. I love the guy loved me. Let's do it our own way. The parties, the funerals, the clubs and all. And those things will not teach you anything in the relationship. It rather takes away from you. So when we are courting and we are dating, I charge them. Let communication takes about 60% of your time.
Right.
Talk. When you are caught in talk, when you are mute and you don't talk, this is the reason why these actions are taking place. You don't talk, and you are not Egyptian mommy, and you are sitting in front of me. I can see the beauty and everything. That means we are communicating, but we are not talking in our minds. And this is the action. Anytime you come around sex, anytime I meet you over there, sex, anytime. But when we talk, you come at the university. I had this colleague friend of mine who proposed to, he was a theologian, but he proposed to a business class lady in the school. And then it was difficult for the lady to accept the proposal, but the guy was still hitting hard. And then finally the girl was like, okay, let me give it a try. They accepted. Each time they need to have a discussion, then this guy will be like, I love you, Mami Sewa. You are my this, you are my that, you are my this. For 3 weeks, this was going on. One day the young girl looked at this and said, are you stupid? And the guy was offended. He said, why should you be offended? You seek for love from me. I accepted the proposal you brought to me. The next thing I was expecting from you is that what is the plan for the future? So now let's talk about the plan. But you keep repeating yourself. For 3 weeks, you are repeating yourself. When I look at you and the way you are talking, we are not compatible. When I marry you one day, we'll have issues. So let me take back what I gave to you and the relationship should be over. The guy was crying. I said the lady was right. I brought him back to my host. I said, listen, you need to think. You seek for something and then you are holding the thing. You're still requesting for the same thing you ask all the time. Have a plan. Where am I supposed to be in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? What will I, how would I get it? The kind of job I will do. People should talk whilst they are courting and dating. Ask reasonable questions. Don't go there and talk about crazy things. Women I know giving the platform, I'm eating. Is she your mother? Is she your father? Forget about you eating or you don't eating. Let the realistic be on the ground. So, director, 10 years from now, where would you intend to be? I mean, there are questions you need to find out to ask. But when you keep mute, and then all you know, oh, tomorrow we have a party here, we have a funeral here, we have an outdooring over here, we have blah blah this over. When are you going to make quality time and sit with the woman and talk? Sometimes people who are matured enough, they know how to trigger you to test your temperament, and then one question they would chip in and hey, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm now discovering who you are. And then out of dialogue and then counseling and then preparation, these things can be worked upon. You don't deny them because of one error, but you can help them to work it out and they'll be in a better position. So I think it's time for us to wake up and understand that everything in life is a journey. It is not automatic. You start somewhere, you end somewhere. I met a man who was about 60 years plus, and he's been married for 40 years. And so I questioned him, how come you've never fought with your wife, you've never insulted your wife, all the time people are happy? Then he started smiling. One day we had a chat, and then he was like, my wife, I don't know how to fight her. Too smart, too intelligent. Even me, when I want to mess up, she can read through the line and will cut off the ways, so I cannot connect, and then my anger drops. Then he begins to expose secret things to me. In there, he said, for challenges he do come, but we are able to overcome by wisdom and by grace, and then we carry on. So challenges are everywhere, and so we should be mindful of the things that we go through in life, especially with our youth. That when somebody is pregnant, the end has not come, and like Mama said, pregnancy doesn't develop in your head; it's over here. So you still have your brains to think.
That's deep. Let's stay on the youth because most of these things happen with the ladies youth, and we find communities or society putting a lot of blame on the ladies and treating them differently to when there's a guy. So even when they know this guy is responsible, you see them still connecting okay with the guy, but immediately the lady comes, there's that change of atmosphere. And I know this takes a toll on their psychological health. You are a psychologist, so I'd want us to take the church setting where there's that incident and the lady is pregnant. I'll cite a friend of mine as an example. She unfortunately had to experience this issue and decided to keep the child. Now, in the church, she started experiencing a lot of critics where people would point fingers, they feel you're not one of them. And people judge you based on their definition for sin. So once they are not doing what you have done, then you are a sinner. They are not a sinner. Meanwhile, they are doing something worse than what you have done. But because according to them is not so much sinful, then you are the sinner here. Now, she experiences a lot of backlash. At some point, she felt taken out of society or even the church. And I'm centering on the church because this is more of a Christian program and we want to enlighten the youth on this. And at the end of all of this, she went to sit home for a while and it took grace to bring her back. And even when she got back, she tagged and marked certain people in the church that when I was going through this challenge, you said this, you said that. And it affects her, the way she relates with these people in the church. And we are there to grow and unite as a family in the church. But we now find people holding sentiments against each other. What is the way forward? So first, let's start from this girl who has had this experience. And now the role that youth are playing in this, or even the church is playing in this very situation. Let me start with you, lady.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's an issue. I'll start with the church that is complaining. Have they ever taken the pain to teach or tell young ones what to do, how to do? You know, we are used to don't. Yes, whenever don't comes, do must follow. Or even the do must come first. If you do it this way, it would. But if it is don't, where we don't add how to do. Now, I have the urge to have sex. And I can't talk about it. Because it's a no. You know, one thing in the church, the moment you start the conversation, they know how it will end and they'll give you solution.
Yeah.
You give advice when you provide the resources. So if you can't provide the resources, don't give advice. Because it might be easy for you to hold it. What about that person? We have individual difference that stem from our personality, our temperament. So the person holding grudges because you said is the temperament that is at play, and she's not wrong. It takes somebody to help her reverse what she's been through and learn to forgive. There are people who cannot even forgive. They have personality disorder, histrionic. They can keep records of all the wrongdoings. It's their nature. Their personality is disordered in a way, and they need help. They need psychological help. So we shouldn't just accuse them, blame them, but get them help, the appropriate help. The church counselors have their limit. We should know and understand that. So get professionals involved. And then let's start training young ones how to deal with their sexual drive. What is an energy? So we can focus the energy elsewhere. We are not doing that. It just says abstain. I said give all the resources. Abstinence, protection, contraceptions, and all that. Give everything, and the consequences, what comes. Because contraceptives have their side effects on the woman, on the man. If you're a believer, your spiritual life, sex is more than physical contact. It has a spiritual side. It has a financial side. You might not see it today, but it lives with you. Interestingly, whoever you sleep with the person who that person has also slept with. So look at the generation, and the consequences follow. If you don't break, it follows you. That's the spiritual side. And it also takes you away from the ultimate, the connection you have with your maker. sex takes it away. That's what happened in the Garden of Eden. So it diverts your attention. That is why it is said that don't. But usually we don't add the do, because I mean, when you get to a certain stage, you can't do anything about the edge except you are groomed. When it's like this, do it. Do physical exercise, engage in this. So we tell people that, I said it earlier, premarital, you are courting. It's not enough to be in secluded places, because the devil is at work and will take advantage. So you should be open. Let everybody know that you are working with this person on the street. You can't do certain things on the street. So avoid certain environment that promotes. Dating doesn't come in. In fact, dating is not a sexual thing. So you can date anybody. It's just a momentary fun friendship. So I can date you. I'm going to beach. You are interested. Let's go. We have a date.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we misinterpret it and we say other things about dating. It is just having fun and friendship. It has no meaning. Courtship is meaningful friendship. So courtship, you are doing this friendship get towards a goal. And what is that goal? What is the purpose of that? That is why I talk about delayed gratification and all that it means. So if I want this and you can't provide for me, doesn't mean I look at elsewhere. It comes with it will affect the relationship one day. I should be able to be patient. But if I think because I deserve it, you should, it's a bad sign. But where you think that, oh, if I don't, he will leave me and go, he will leave you, and so what? You are a complete human being with or without a man, with or without a woman. Stay focused. Here, I'm still hammering on the fact that the church should teach the young ones how to handle sexual drive. And some of the things, the Bible didn't say speak tongues when you haven't feeling for that girl or when you haven't feeling for that boy. It says flee. Flee, even the flight, the speed is less. It means, vanish. Find a way and get away. I don't have the word to describe it. But this is where we play with it. We think, oh, I'm strong. And I have witnessed a lady who said, I'm winning a guy into Christ. And before you could say Jack, they are pregnant. Is that how we win souls? Who taught her soul winning? You see? So it means that somebody must be responsible. When I hear things like today's youth, who's the today adult raising today's youth? So if you don't work, don't expect a production or a response. So in as much as young ones are doing this, it means that some generation have failed. And that one, we shouldn't talk about it. That generation that's supposed to tell us what to do, what not to do. I always tell people that marriage is taught. It's part of socialization. So if you want your children to marry, you teach them. You take them through the procedure, age-appropriate conversation, where you train your child to know the body parts. Which part of my body belongs to me and me alone? Which part can I share with someone? At what time? Where? When? Then give them reasons so that when a man is touching me, and then some men believe that when a woman is saying no, it's the other way around. They can defend themselves that this is for me alone and I don't give you that permission. But are we training them? But we want them to be able to run away, to discern. We have to teach them. We have to, and the church have to. That's why I'm saying these topics. I use the church because the church, people listen to the church. When they go to church and the pastor speaks, they listen. That is why I'm always focusing on the church. And this is a place where you can get most of the young ones. So we have a long way to go. Instead of judging and criticizing. I said earlier and I'll repeat. When people get pregnant before marriage, it means that we ourselves, we have failed somewhere. So the best we can do is go back and make corrections. So walk along with them, make the corrections together. Not just blaming the person. Because somebody was supposed to lead. How did you lead? And then, like Papa said, there are certain things that have to break. It happened to you. It happened to your sister. It became a family thing. And you think it won't happen again. Research shows that families where adolescents give birth, let's say a mother gave birth as an adolescent, or a senior sister gave birth as an adolescent, it's okay. So the next child, it becomes a life. It's not spiritual. This one is there's the spiritual side. I don't rule it out, but it is not. We have what we call generational trauma. It comes up in the way we raise children, the way we communicate, what we accept, what we don't accept. Sometimes it builds fear, and out of the fear, we mishandle things. Like I said, some children are overly protected and they don't talk about sex with them. So they get out. Some parents haven't never looked at their children and say, "You're a handsome boy." So they get out and somebody's your handsome boy. It's yes. Yeah. But if you, as a father, you look at your daughter, that's why I love you. You're a good girl. She stepped out and the guy, that naughty guy, says you are beat with. My father has said it to me, so it's no news. And we should, as parents, you should make conscious effort to do that. And those who segregate their children, love some and leave some with the excuse that this one is stubborn. This one, let's go back. The prodigal son, was he the good child? Was he the responsible child?
No.
But the father loved, said, let's do a party for him. Because there are some people, equity, they need a higher level to be able to reach there. Others, just tell them reach there and they will find their way. It doesn't mean the one need higher level to get there is weak. It's the individual difference. So equity, give those that need that push and coach those who can do it on their own. But don't say because this one is able to do that, this one should be able. They are different. And I've spoken about our temperament, our personality. It's different. If you are choleric, something that we said with 10 years, you say it in a minute and you done it. A melancholy will think about it, how to say it, when to say it, who to say it to, how many years. Then the person hasn't spoken. Not that the person can say it. It's the temperament and the personality that is at play. And these are how human nature is. And we are patterns. We are not, we are the sum total of the pieces put together. So don't like the same thing. You have had an abortion. I didn't know, pastor don't know, your counselor don't know. So you think you are perfect. Don't forget that I said earlier, God is in your bathroom with you. So the one who has been bold to keep it deserves help, not judgment. And don't put yourself in place of God, because you can never be in place of God. I said to somebody that if God does not want this child to come, the very day it dropped, God would have wiped the baby out. Because people get pregnant 3 weeks, you go, even 5-7 months, they lose it. So if God has kept that pregnancy, it's for a reason. I'm not saying go and get pregnant because God. I know somebody that has been the only child, and this is years back. This lady's senior brother said, no, you have to complete. So gathered money, bought a car for this lady from all the way Central Region to Tema. Then times abortion was a sacred, you don't even mention it, but they were able to figure a hospital in Tema and brought her. She said she was in the queue, last but one. So the other person goes and it's her turn. Nobody knows what happened. She just walked away quietly back home. So she went and the grandmother said, is that your problem? Come and give birth. I'll take care of the child. You do whatever you want to do with her. That has been the only child the woman has. That has been. So imagine that abortion has gone through. What would have happened? And the wonders that that child is doing. Because God doesn't need thousands. God needs only one. Isaac. And the world has multiplied. So we should always factor this and not to be second goddess. I'm talking about church leaders, church owners, pastors, everybody who matters. Be careful how you criticize, how you are judging this person. Because the fact that you've committed that offense doesn't mean God has neglected. And I use David. He's the man after God's heart. What sin hasn't he committed? From killing. God said there's blood stain on your hands. You can't build a temple. He said he's the man after his heart. So who am I? I said because of health reasons, this is where we have to get closer. So that the person won't lose the self-worth. The person won't lose the woman they are. So some people lose it such that after child they can't do anything. They can't succeed in anything. But others have been able to progress. They got family support. They got the support. There was that crazy person who said, I'll stand up for this girl. And those are the people who don't need 1,000. So who the church people are ridiculed. You don't need thousands. You need just one person to be there. So that one person who used to visit you when the church made it difficult for you to even attend church service, follow that person. Because that person is the angel God has given to you, and that person is the only person you needed to go through this pregnancy and have that child, and be happy that you were bold to go to God, how dirty you are, not pretending, and then be happy that God saw you through, so that you stick to God and make the corrections, because God loves you. 2026 years ago, he opens his arms to receive us, and the arms have not been closed. So come as you are, but you can't stay in Christ as you are. That's one thing I want to tell people. So if you are having sex and you decide to be a Christian, it means you have to walk away from that. It won't be easy, so get help.
Well, that's interesting, and that's quite deep for us as youth. Like I was saying, this is somebody in the church, right? And had to face all of this. Now let's shift our attention to those who have actually decided to get married because the lady is pregnant and they are actually married. What are some of the challenges these couple will go through?
Remember,
what are they supposed to know that would occur and should probably start avoiding it? Please go ahead.
I don't believe in avoidance. I believe in going through. So one, what are the issues? Papa said, whenever you notice that, start seeking help. If you think the church counseling won't help you, seek professional help. It will help you go through some of these challenges, because it's even happening to those who married before having children. Financially, you are not stable. It will help you to figure out what you can do for yourself that will benefit the pregnant. I know somebody who he was doing something that was giving him money, and he was okay. But when that child came, nobody told him that you need to set up. He looked for a job. He came to tell me that I have, and God has, this is how he put it, God has shown himself by giving me a better job. You see, he saw God, because that is all that he needed to see God. You get it? And he saw that God has shown himself in this difficulty. So have a better job. If you can't, some people can be broken based on these things they hear, that they can't even do anything. That's where you need help. So financially, psychologically, socially, some withdrawn, especially the women. The pregnancy become like a scare, so they don't want to step out. You need help. You can go through it. Then the issues that come with childbirth, not just having the child, the health of the woman after childbirth. You need support. You need medical support. You need psychological support. You need financial support. So if you get somebody who is providing the financial support, you need somebody that will provide the psychological support. And all these things work together to bring you back. So identify which of them is your need. Some people go through all the difficulties. Others, they are not able to deal with the guilt. That's where you need help. And you need spiritual help too. Where you missed that, you have to go back and start learning from there. But don't kill yourself. If God hasn't forsaken you, you have no other option to forsake God. That is where you have to know that it is what people are saying, but it's not God's words. And then what are you saying to yourself? Some parent can go that far to tell, especially the girls, you are cheap. That's why you got pregnant. Because the other mates are doing the other things parents don't know, so they are not cheap. That is what somebody think about you. Are you cheap? Do you see yourself to be cheap? Because you believe in what the person told you. Which is not wrong, because that's what you heard. And you don't have the magic to know what you haven't seen, what you haven't heard. It takes just by grace. So it's a mistake. Is it correctable? Prove yourself by bouncing back, getting all the needed help, no matter how much it costs you. I'm saying how much, not because of money, time, and the consistency, the willingness to bounce back. They're the same people who are criticizing you, who celebrate you. Today, there are few people, I don't want to mention them, there's a popular one we celebrate. But if the father didn't stand in for her, Will she be where she is? If she decided to coil because this is what has happened to me, so I can't move on again, will she be the person we're celebrating today? So it's a head up. Let's work hard to cross. Some people will use 5 minutes to cross. Others will use days. It's okay. The most important thing is you cross it. And the adult should groom the young one to be able to go through all these difficulties.
Well, that's good. But let me come to evangelists. Now, these are couples who have married actually, and they didn't marry because we went through the process. We identify, established that marriage is a decision, yes, to stay with the person, whether there's love or not. They didn't go through that, but because of pregnancy, they are married. What challenges are they likely to go through spiritually, and how are they supposed to overcome that? Apart from the mental health, where sometimes the lady feels more pressure because she is carrying the pregnancy, and you find a man going out and still living his life. That one would definitely happen. But spiritually, what are some of the challenges that you're likely to go through?
All right, I think the challenges are many, of which many has been explained, and I'm taking it from this point that anything premature, I keep saying that the thing is not up to stage, it is not at the right stage. Something occurred and then shifted it from 1 to 3. That means there is a gap between the 1 to 3, and that gap over there ought to be fixed. And so just like a premature baby, which is not normal compared to the normal babies. So much attention is also needed for the premature baby because of the condition and the state of that child. Every minute, every second, every drug, every medication is needed to make sure that that child will be secured. Even the mother could not rest when she knew I have a premature baby. Every second of the heartbeat, going to the hospital to see whether the child is okay, there is this kind of mixture of fear and anxiety as to whether I'll make the child alive or dead, and all these things play. That's exactly the same thing that happens to the woman when she marries prematurely, because you have a plan, you have a date, you have a structure plan just to fix this thing. Unfortunately, you couldn't get to the place, and then something happened, and that means you need extra care, extra attention, extra focus. That means you need to do what I call the double do. I love the double do because you've missed the mark. It's like a child who was in JHS1 and then was transported from JHS1 to JHS3. Remember, you have mixed all of JHS2. Writing the final exams, all the things in JHS2 will be added to it. So a smart student will be like, I have been promoted all the way from JHS1 to JHS3. But in the period of my studies, I do to bring on board everything within JHS2 to add up to the JHS1 and even the JHS3 one. So it is not just an excitement. Oh, I have escaped level 2. You have not escaped. It is there waiting for you. And that is the wisdom that comes on board. Let me go through the normal process of everything over there. So people are sleeping. I have to hijack myself up to deal with the 2. So that on the final day, I'll be able to have a good judgment of myself. So this woman, like I'm saying, that once you do such a thing, the link and the relationship between you and your God is broken. That is not the right way to go about it. It does not mean rejection, but you can still bounce back. That, listen, we were supposed to do this right. Unfortunately, our disobedience caused us to be here. And so this period time around, you need to get closer to your God more than ever before. Engage in more prayer, more Bible study, be doing more of the spiritual songs just to encourage yourself, because a time will come in that situation, nobody will be there to encourage you. So follow the pattern of David. At the point in time, he was expecting that people will come to him because of the nature of things he was going through. Unfortunately, they were not come. But the Bible says, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. He did it by himself. He was not waiting upon anybody. So wake up in the morning, get some spiritual songs and the hymns to begin to blow around yourself. Just tell your soul, be happy, be excited. I made a mistake, but I'm not going to die over here. I made a mistake, but I'm still moving forward. And look for the kind and the type of people that will be on board to help you through your encouragement, through prayer life and everything. Then you can get there. You may also link up to a man of God who also come on board with a higher understanding about the things of God, who will let you to understand. Because listen, there are people that God has forgiven, but they are still holding on to the sins of themselves. And it's like, I am the creator of the universe. You came to me, I forgave you, but you're still holding the thing to yourself. And somebody must help you to break loose. If you don't break it, your freedom must come and you are still struggling. That is why you need the upper hand to come on board and then help you out just to break this silence, and then you can carry on. At that moment, remember, you have delivered, or probably you might be even carrying the pregnancy, and the child alone, and even you yourself alone, with what you are going through, is a double track for you, and you need special grace to go through it. And that is the reason why your spiritual life cannot be taken for granted. The moment you also allow yourself to be taken away by deception, which the enemy could play a role within, and then align with God again, it's going to be a challenge. A battle line will be drawn over there. The enemy still keeps speaking to you, and it's like, why are you wasting your time going back to your God? If he was there, why would he look upon you to go through all this kind of stress? And now you are trying to go. All this will play on your mind, and that is where you need to encourage yourself more. Let somebody be there for you. You cannot handle it alone. More prayer, more encouragement, more scripture reading, more of the hymns, and speak to yourself. It happens. I remember Ron Kinoli, the great musician, when and the words we speak. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21. Bible says life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So depending on what you want, you have the power in your mouth to declare it. When the woman was pregnant, at the point in time, he was just walking in the hall, and then she placed her hands on the pregnancy, and she made a simple declaration that one day you are coming out, you will be a great worshiper, you will heal the wounds of many through your worship songs. And that was the prayer of the mother. Today, check the life of Rankinoli when he came on the scene. The things he's doing, one prayer from one woman, turn the whole thing around. So within that same painful moment, the woman, I tell people, I fear my wife. I'm a minister. Nobody can pray better than I can do in my family. But when my wife goes down to pray, sometimes I have to hide. Because women in serious prayer, I tell you, if you are sensitive to the things of God, when your wife prays for you, you are blessed. I am telling you, she does it with her heart, her emotions, and everything, and she knows this is going to work. So women, when they speak, I know the volume of the weight in their words. For a woman to insult you without a kid, and you can weep like a little child. See the way a woman can rubbish insult on the husband. The man will be there and they're vibrating. The woman never touched you, only words, and you are shaking. That alone should tell you they are gifted in a way you are not anointed for it. And so we are cautious when they begin to rap like this. Pick your shirt and walk out. By the time you come, the heat is gone. Come and sleep in your AC and you are cool with it. The same way this woman take that strategy. Check the scriptures; they are there. Hannah was looking for the child. The husband was somewhere with another woman because he was also married to that woman. She went in alone to seek the face of God without any support. And God granted her request. Other women also in the Bible went through similar things. They came back with a good report. And so she's a woman, and she needs to understand that making an error or a mistake will not write me off. I still have a little energy with me, and I need the power to push it, and everything will come on board. And so she can go through some of these things, and I believe she'll be fine. She shouldn't give the devil a platform to operate in it. And the devil can come in diverse ways through human beings, friends, family, society. They may speak. You will pass, and somebody will just release a comment. And if you have not guarded yourself, you will accept their words in your heart, and you will destroy everything within you. So I tell people, sometimes when I'm going to talk to you, I look at who you are. So if I know you are not somebody who is worth enough to bring something to my life, I block my left ear. And when I'm talking to you, I'll push that left ear to you. You may seem like you are talking, but for me, the place is blocked. And I listen to the wisest, and I open up the other side. When you are moving out, just encourage yourself that, listen, I know there are people out there ignorantly who will speak nonsense of me. And I have prepared myself for it. Let them do it and pass through it, come through it, and you are secure. It's one of my medications when I'm going to sleep at night. I wouldn't allow any call, any human to speak any negative word into my life for me to go and sleep with it. I will block it. I refuse to hear it. My sleep is meant between me and my God. And I wouldn't want, because somebody can give you one word at night, and then they'll put up their phone, and they will be sleeping quietly. You will be struggling on bed the whole night. And I'm very cautious about her. So she should encourage herself, do more prayer. She might need, like I said, a directive from a man of God who could give some specific scriptures and prayer points, and then even sometimes holding their hands together, praying with her. And then the two of them also needs to encourage them, especially from the man. Because the woman now will be the great career based on the child and everything that has come on board. So all the man could offer is encouragement. Let the woman know we all made a mistake, but God has forgiven us and we can carry on. So let's still mark the vision ahead of us, run with it, and we believe one day we'll get to the top and things will change for us.
But when we look at marriages that have lasted, and we want to do the comparison between those who have gone through the process without pregnancy and have decided to go through it, and those who have had to go into a marriage because of pregnancy, which is expected to last long?
Thank you so much. It depends. So, according to research, we have 50-50 because this is not how the marriage is started, but what we want and what we have put in the marriage. You want to have maize farm, then you go and plant beans are mixed with maize. You have beans and maize. You won't have the maize that. So, like Apostle said, we've made a mistake. We make choices. So now what are we choosing? Choosing to stay, not to endure. What must we put in to get it done? So the man have realized the mistake, the woman have realized. Then we do dream realignment. So this is what we wanted to do, and this came up. How do we go and do it all over again? Then you start planning, making strategies, speaking to the right persons. Where I've heard a story where the guy was blaming the woman, as in they had premarital sex. Now the man comes back and blames the woman that because the woman allowed that, he cannot trust the woman. This is in Ghana. Now, is she the only one who did it? I did it with you. Can I trust you? That is so immature. So if we seek maturity and get ready to learn things that will help us make marriage work, then the marriage will work, because it doesn't depend. Those who did the due process also lose their marriages. So what are we talking about? But when we do dream realignment, hard work, spiritual hard work, physical hard work, health hard work, seek the right direction, the marriage will stay. Because even, you see, one thing that helped our predecessors was they went into their marriage with the hope that I will make it work.
Right.
And everybody played their part, including those who were supposed to support them. So Daddy would testify that, yes, somebody who stand behind you in marriage, that is your counselor.
Yeah.
Now we take everything to be jokes. It's like we are playing. But remember, marriage is not the ceremony. Happens after the ceremony. But we take wedding to be the marriage. No. Marriage happens after the wedding. So know what you need, what you are struggling with, your strength, your weakness, how you want the woman to help you, how you want the man to help you, and speak it, communicate it. I wish you help me do this. I wish you help me do that. Don't keep saying my husband doesn't help me. Then what is it that he's not doing? He doesn't help me. This is how most women think. Then the man, my wife doesn't help me. What exactly do you want her or him to do? Where do you think you are struggling? Be open. This is how much I have. What can you do? But don't pretend or don't rubbish needs. Else you won't make it. Be it you married because of pregnancy or not. When other people also accept the child, but not the woman, you have to be careful of that too. Because you can't accept where the seed and refuse to accept the container. It's a package. So if you stick to that, the marriage won't work. If you think you are not ready, just be open. Yes, we've had a child, but I think it won't work. That is when you are not ready to put in the effort. But if you are ready, we have a story in the Bible. I think it was Jacob. When the brother has taken the blessings, the father says something.
Yeah.
If you put in hard work, what happened? He was also blessed. When you till the land, you will earn proceed from it. But because you didn't receive the blessings, you are just there. I keep telling believers that manna fell, but it didn't fall into our mouth. It fell on the ground. Go pick it. It's a choice. So if you choose not to pick the manna, if you pick it and you hold it without putting it in, you'll still be hungry.
Yeah.
It's a choice. So choose what works for you. There are no two marriages which are the same. So don't compare your parents' marriage to that of your marriage, that of your friend to that of your marriage. Decide, how do we want this to be? What can I do? What is your role? Even household chores, we can discuss it. help me do this, help me do that. Then you move together. It's a journey we are doing together. Blame game doesn't come in. Let's sit, check the box. Are we doing this right? We agree doing this. Has anything changed? Communicate. In fact, communicating is the wheels on which marriage thrive on. If you leave it, you will not move. You get stuck. But marriage shouldn't get stuck. I keep to tell people that anything that ends with ship promotes movement and development. So if the relationship is not moving you, then you have to look at it again. So what I'm trying to say is that marriages due to pregnancy or not can work based on the individuals in it, the support they get, and the readiness to make it work. With all the pillars in place, you cannot get it all, but you can seek help and learn. Learning plays a role. Life in itself is a learning platform. You can't tell me you will stop learning because you are 80 years. The smartphone is now here. You can't get the yam. Then times you have the big yam. You charge the battery, 3 months is still on. You can't get them again. So you have to learn how to use the new ones. So life is a learning platform. So your marriage is not an exception. But if you don't put in that, it won't work. And it's not because it's the premarital. That's what I want to assure people.
Permit me to chip in this. You know, she made mention of something, and that is what I keep telling most of my people all the time, that listen, people plan for the events and not the real marriage. So somebody is even courting somebody, and the fair discussion would be like, my wedding night, I wish I could get my wedding dress from Italy, my shoes from Canada, and I wish to have about 10,000 capacity of people. In this economy, you are going to feed 10,000 people. Okay, so when you start doing this thing right from the initial stage, it's like you've thrown off the marriage. What you wanted was a party. So why don't you go in for the party and forget about the marriage? But most of our attention, our focus and everything is on the event. Overnight, it's gone. Tomorrow morning, the reality dawns on you. Now, this is marriage. You wake up with a man with a different lifestyle, different character, and then you are wondering, sorry, you are wondering, how did I come along with this kind of thing? Where is he coming from? Where is she also coming from? Are we married? What is this? What is that? Because you were planning for the event. And when you check couples who are going to marry, then 80% of their plans is into material things. I wonder whether they get time for prayer and even some advice from external people and other things, but rather the nature of the wedding captures their mind. And they run, especially with our women, it becomes like a competition. We want our own to be better than these people. We want our own to be this and that and that. I had a friend who got married. You know, God blesses us sometimes, but we use our own hands to destroy what the Lord has given unto us without applying wisdom. The uncle was in the US. When he was in Ghana, this guy had been helping him a lot to do a lot of crazy things. So when he got to know that the guy was getting married, he called the young man and said, send me your budget for the wedding. And the guy pushed the list. The man even doubled the money for the young man. So this young guy came to me. I said, listen, before the proposal came, you were already having your plans and you were doing your stuff. Don't tell this woman that this is what my uncle is doing for us. Now you are hot because of the wedding procedure. Go and invest this money somewhere. Run the wedding. When you are through, call your wife, bring the money on board, and plan together what you can do with it. He said, oh, but also for within some few weeks, she will be my wife. At least she needs to be on the known. I said, I am asking you to apply wisdom. Women, emotions, ceremonies. And I left them. The guy discussed with the woman. The woman said, bring the money on board. They hired 4 cameramen. They doubled the price of the people. She changed her wedding gown instantly. We want a different type altogether. Before they say Jack, everything was gone. 1 week after the marriage, I'm telling you on authority, they were starving. 1 week. Everything was gone. They never saved any money for the marriage. They fed the people who came along. And for weddings and parties and funerals, when you don't think and you don't plan, when you call people, people are ever ready to come and chop for you.
But we want to practice.
We will chop. And that is one area I'm also charging our young girls to be smart, because when you are in a marriage and challenges start coming, most of the women take a lot of the challenges. For the men, they can pick one shirt and walk out. What you eat, what the kids will eat, and funny. And so people should be mindful that, listen, I am in to preserve something, work together, and build a solid relationship. So the event is not important as the marriage itself. 10 people from your side, 10 people from my side can get to the pastor's office. We have a nice wedding. A registrar is over there, everything is fine.
Oh, in fact,
because we wanted to show off.
During the COVID, it happened to my cousin.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. I wish it continued like that.
Oh.
So the church, it's also Presby. Family, 40 from here, 40 from
80.
here. Which at the point I even thought it was too much. The church 20. And there was a list. If your name is not there, you don't have a seat. I mean, it's time the church helps regulate this wedding thing.
Cut off cost.
I mean, we have women and men who don't want that cost, but their in-laws to be are pushing.
Yeah.
Please, life is better in the marriage. In fact, let's focus on the marriage, not the ceremony. Because what you wear on your wedding day, nobody can criticize, nobody can change it. And you can wear this and choose, that's what I want to wear. Nobody can force you. They will talk about it. What do you care? It's their opinion. They're entitled to it. But who are you is the most important thing. So all these factors will play a role for the women and the men getting married because there's pregnancy and all that. We can make it work when we factor all this. That's why I keep saying that get help the moment you get, because the fear and the cultural and societal stigma comes to shock you, and the anxiety levels grow high. And in anxiety and fear, you don't think right. So if you don't seek appropriate help, you mess up. Or to impress. But the fact is, who are you impressing? Because they will come and eat all the food and still complain. Maybe the rice, there was too much salt or there wasn't salt after the program. But what you eat after, I always tell people, if you observe carefully, people come in once in two for wedding ceremony. It's the same way they live. By 5:36, you and your partner are left alone. How you gather the chairs and send them back, nobody give a damn. So that should be the lessons that we should learn. It is not about the pregnancy that will make it work or not. It's the choices we make and the effort we put, and then the help we seek, and the spiritual growth we look for. You see, it should be the growth mindset. So this is what we find ourselves, and we want to do it. Let's grow together. And each other is playing the role. It's work.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been very interesting with you and quite educative, also informative, if I should say. We have learned a lot today. We have moved from the sensitization of this very topic to a very critical topic where we are able to answer certain questions and make decisions for ourselves on whether we want to take the marriage or not. And I believe that my viewers have enjoyed today's discussion. As always, this is Family Life. My name is Elizabeth and your name is Tamakloe. And in studio today was Madam Lady Justina O. Ejiri. She's a Ghanaian consultant and counseling psychologist who integrates mental health into medical care as the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC Hospital, and Health Essentials, that's Medics Clinic, and also Evangelist Patrick Nilomoto Tego. He fellowships at St. Timothy Anglican Church. He is a marriage counselor, a married man himself, and of course, he is a textile designer and also into poultry and snail farming. And this has been AdWords Television's Family Life today's edition. I believe that you've learned a lot, and we'll see you again on your screens another time. Please do stay safe.